Hello, welcome back to Karting with Lawro, where today we are back at TeamSport Leeds, which, as you know, is my local track, and at the moment I would say it's my favourite track. So in my last video I was on my own, and I had the goal to get as many overtakes as possible going against a abundance of rookies, but today, for a change of pace, we are not alone. Now, this young chappy in front of us is Alex, also known as Hinko, so throughout the video I might refer to him as either Alex or Hinko. Now, the problem with Alex is he has been racing with me for the last 2 years, and he knows all my attacks, my defense, my racing line. He basically knows every single move I'm going to make before I make it. So overtaking him gets really difficult. But without further ado, let's just jump into the video and see, 1, how well I can overtake him and defend, and 2, how fast I can get past all the back markers that are blocking between us. So we are now on the way with heat number 1, and in front of us we've got a pack of 4, including our good friend Hinko. Now, as Alex goes for this corner, he manages to get the inside line but doesn't have enough speed to get that overtake. Whereas I'm thinking about going for a dive bomb, hence why I moved to the right. But I had a little bit of a flashback from the last time I did a dive bomb with Hinko, and let's just say it didn't end too well. We got into a bit of a crash, and he has not let me forget it thus far. But we do get our first overtake, and the good thing about following just behind Hinko is, most of the time I'm able to just follow his racing line. Like, he will create an opening for me, so instead of having to attack, I just kind of sit behind him and let him do all the hard work until I get my prime time to overtake him. Now, at this point we do get bogged down quite a bit by that little crash, hence why someone's about to overtake me, which I'm not too happy about. But by following Hinko's line, which it looks like he did a dive bomb, we managed to get past 2 of them on that one corner. So yeah, like I said, this is the good thing about racing right behind someone, is they will open the whole track up for us and allow us to just sit by and relax. Now, as we come under the bridge, I managed to exit with a little bit more speed than Alex, but I don't know how he does it, but he stays wide and also stays on the inside lane, cutting me off, not allowing me to overtake him. But coming down the long stretch, I'm staying right behind him, trying to see if there's any little gaps or openings that I'm able to grab onto him to be able to get the overtake. But seeing that there's no chance, I back off ever so slightly so I can create enough speed to hopefully overtake him on one of the corners, hoping that I've got a better exit speed. And coming around the corner, following Alex's lines, or openings, I'm able to get another overtake on a back marker. Now, a couple of laps later, me and Alex have managed to get back up to some back markers, which my aim now is to use these back markers as a diversion of sorts, so he's worried about attacking them whilst I can just slide through. But unfortunately they do have a crash, which kind of neutralizes my plan to use them to get by Alex, putting us onto a yellow flag. Going up to the chicane, we do a lovely little maneuver, pushing Alex out of the outside lane, which makes him have to do a bit of a sharper turn, allowing me to get neck and neck with him. But unfortunately I don't do that corner as well, and he does manage to get a bit more of the speed to pull away, which, as I said at the start of this video, it's becoming really difficult to overtake him, as he knows exactly what I'm about to do before I'm about to do it. But coming down the long straight is the time of action, where I try get my proper chance to overtake him, as he goes too wide on the approach, allowing me to get to the inside lane, pushing him behind me and getting the overtake. Now all we have to do is keep him behind us. How hard could that be? My aim now is to keep Alex behind me at all costs, but to do that I'm going to need to catch up to some back markers. But you can see my paranoia, constantly turning around to see whereabouts he is. just to make sure he's not going for an overtake, as we are roughly similar speeds now. So first plan of action is now to catch up to all the back markers and use those to hopefully slow down Hinko. A few laps later, I now have no one in front of me and no one behind me. Alex is now being invaded by another member who is trying to overtake him, so he's kind of now distracted away from catching up to me and more focused on trying to retain his position of second place. In front of me I do have one back marker, but that's it. So at this point I'm just going to focus, put my head down and try get the fastest lap of the session. And with that, the first race is over, with me in first with a 40.673, which is very close to my personal best. Tom Grant with a 41.458, who was battling Alex towards the end, and Alex with a 41.506. So they were very close between those two. But we did secure that first place win and the best time, so let's jump into heat number 2 and hope that we can do the same there. So with green flags all around, we have now started heat number 2. Our immediate threat in front of us is Hinko, who's a little bit ahead, but not too far that it's going to take a long time for me to catch up. No sign of Tom Grant right now, which is always good, because he is my unexpected enemy that I was needing to go against. But as we come around this corner, we do see Hinko coming up to the pits, showing that he does have some sort of bad kart. Now the problem with petrol kart is it is very, very hit and miss in terms of you will either have really great steering, great power, great braking, just the perfect kart, or you will have a demon kart which just does nothing for you. It doesn't turn, it doesn't have acceleration. So he must have had something like that and come up immediately. Now in front of us we do have 3 karts for us to overtake, and I have been watching them on the last couple of laps, and they're taking corners in a very odd way, as just shown then, not getting the full potential out of them. Now whilst going under the bridge, I am trying to stay on to the right so that I have the chance to dive bomb them, but as we get closer to the corner they pull away ever so slightly, minimizing my chance to get this sneaky little dive bomb in. Now as we come over the bridge, I do recognise a little blue helmet across from us, which is Hinko, and he is back on track, so he's now not too far behind us, which has put a little bit of fear into me as I'm stuck behind some back markers. So to maximise the gap, I'm going to have to get back by these back markers and hope that he gets stuck behind them too. So with a full clean track, I'm now going to do a quick layout of how the track works. So after the long pit underpass area, we have a straight right apex turn forming into a chicane. Now this part I always struggle with, as you can do it without braking, but I think I have too much speed because I'm too fast. After the bridge we have a right apex where I brake on and a left apex where I don't have to brake on. On that part you can just drift it round, and then that leads you onto this long stretch that goes under the bridge where you can do all flat out, sweeping to the right for our third braking point of the track, and our final corner. So overall, I brake 3 times. I brake at the end of the straight, the first corner after the bridge, and the second to last corner of the whole track. Now, many laps later, I have managed to get back behind one of the back markers, who noticingly is taking all these corners very tight. You can see how he had to slow down quite a lot there to get that apex, allowing me to get the inside line for a little cheeky dive bomb, but making sure that he's on the right so that he doesn't re-overtake me, giving a little wiggle so that he has no chance of overtaking me. But we once again have a full clean track for me to get some good laps in and hopefully set the best lap of the race, and also to see if I can catch up to Alex or any of the other back markers, as this race is a little bit uneventful as nothing majorly is happening. So with this yellow flag, the race is over, and we can see Hinko is just in front of us, which means we did very quickly catch back up to him within this 15-minute heat. So with this second heat over, let's jump back up to the pits and get ourselves ready for our third heat and final heat of the video. So in this second heat, I did get a first place with a 40.931. Alex with a 40.005 and Jaden with a 42.172. Another wonderful win. And a green flag is shown to commence the final heat out of our races today. Now heading down the long stretch, we have got Jaden, who was third in the last race, in front of us, and behind we have got Hinko, who was second. Now, as I'm coming around here, I'm starting to notice Jaden's kart. Now, as he's taking these corners, he is slipping a bit more than he should have, having those back wheels coming out a bit more. This is probably due to how he has not warmed the kart up enough, or it's potentially due to just the kart having problems of itself, but he is slipping and sliding around, which is causing me to catch up to him quite significantly. Now, as we come around this approach, I move to the left to carry on with my speed so that I can then get to the inside line and get the overtake. Now, the reason why I went left is so that I didn't knock into him, bogging myself down, and it allowed me to keep up my maximum speed for the overtake. But now we have got both Alex and Jaden behind us. I can slightly relax knowing that I don't have to attack, but I do have to defend whilst catching up to any more back markers to try and distract them with them. A few laps later, I turn around to realise that Jaden is nowhere to be seen, and without knowing, he had come off track and got a new kart, which means he's now going to be faster and a lot harder to overtake, as now he is in front of me, and now I have the aim to overtake him whilst also defending Hinko, which is luckily quite far behind. So back off the yellow lights, we're into green, approaching the underpass where I originally overtook Jaden. Now coming down the stretch, I do manage to get a better outer speed, allowing me to close this gap ever so slightly more. And as we're heading through these corners, I am managing to do them just a little bit faster, where he notices and lets me by, as he must know that I am the faster driver. That is the nice thing, that back markers let happen. They realise that you're faster and they let you by, maybe so that they can follow your racing line. Maybe it wasn't as trained onto this track as I am, but now we have a lovely open track to be able to reach the back markers once again and get a first place time. Many laps of open laps later, I'm able to catch up to one of the back markers who's going a little bit too steep on the corners, reducing his speed, allow me to get the inside line with a little dive bomb, which was a bit of the riskier side as we did have a bit of contact, but putting another overtake under my belt there. And as we approach the bridge, I notice that I've got 2 more back markers in front of me before I have once again a lovely open clean track. Now, with a yellow flag that is checkered and the end of this heat, the final outcomes was me in first place with a 40.78, Jaden in second with a 41.036, and Hinko in third with a 41.506. Now, I'm really happy with the outcome of this race. I managed to get all 3 races first place and under 41 seconds, which has been a challenge for me recently. Next week we will be racing at TeamSport Warrington, which is an electric go-karting track, and this was the first time I ever went here and it was absolutely insane and I loved it. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and I shall keep making content like this. And also go check out my social medias, including my Instagram and TikTok, where I post behind the scenes videos and also bits of footage that was never used in the actual video. Okay, thank you, bye bye!